Hey,
Hey Nick, how's it going?
I am living the dream.
Living the dream. Yeah, same-ish. Um,
Say more. No, I'm kidding.
I feel like, yeah, actually, that might be a decent place to start. Like, I feel like this is the dream, but like it just feels worse than I wanted it to. Like everything kind of being automatable, owning
Yeah,
my own software, all that good stuff that I've always wanted, and it feels like a lot of work right now, is what it feels like. Feels like a
yeah,
lot of work.
yep. I totally get that. It feels like burnout is going to be a thing like in a year for like
Yeah.
not me, of course, but like for the industry as a whole. Like we're just going to be like, God, another Claude Code update. What? Now it does
Yeah.
literally everything.
I know. And this kind of ties into the thing that we wanted to talk about today, um which is Pi.
Woo.
And you've recently gotten into it. I've had it like on my list, my like was it Sisyphus? Is that the guy rolling the rock up the
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my Sisyphean list that's growing. I've had it on there for a little bit, and I finally installed it today, knowing that we were going to talk about Pi, so I could.
Is Sisyphus the guy who has his liver eaten every day? I think
Oh, that I think you're thinking of syphilisis. Um,
fair.
no, is it Sisyphus? I don't know. One of the whatever the Greek story is about the guy who like has to push the boulder up the hill, is smited by the gods, just never to actually get it up the hill. Um,
It's
but yeah,
Sisyphus.
Sisyphus. It is Sisyphus. Okay, Sisyphusian. My Sisyphusian AI list. Um,
I'm thinking of Prometheus.
oh, Prometheus. Yeah. He like kind of like falls off a waterfall and like did and sprouts life.
That's the movie. No, he's punished forever for giving us fire, giving humans fire, and
Oh.
uh, a crow or something eats his liver every day, which is interesting because the liver is the only organ that regenerates itself. We are way off the deep end.
I I kind of love that. I mean, like the gods are just so good at cursing people.
Yes.
Is basically the summary of what we've learned so far. Is AI our curse?
Yes. Didn't even hesitate with that one.
It sure feels like it. It sure feels like my liver's being eaten every day by AI. Whew. Damn, we're in it, aren't we? Okay, so Pi.
Woo, pie.
So we wanted to talk about Pi. You've been in it. It kind of feels like, and correct me because you're the smart one. I am like way leagues behind you on this one. Um, it feels like a coding agent harness, I think is what it calls itself. But last week we were kind of like really not sure what harness meant. Um, for like people who have been using a terminal for a really long time and are like pedantic and want to do their own shit. Is this the kind of high level summary of what Pi is?
I think so.
Okay.
It is. You may have used it before if you've used OpenClaw because it's an underlying harness for that.
Oh,
But the way that I had it described to me by multiple people, I confirmed, and it's the thing that got me like, okay, I have to try this. If if Claude Code is Visual Studio Code,
yep.
then Pi is NeoVim.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what it feels like.
Yeah,
Okay. And so you can kind of like it starts off minimal, which is like, hey, this is a text editor that is like a basic, or this is just like a basic agent,
mm-hmm.
and but also you can do whatever the hell you want with it. But it's kind of up to you to like how much pre-created stuff you want to install or how much stuff you want to make on your own.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Interesting. So why why would someone want to use Pi? Like, is there an advantage versus like being a tinkerer, or is it really just, I mean, is that the advantage?
I think that's the advantage, but that also just brings in other advantages. Like one of the main reasons that I am interested in it is because I
Mhm.
keep hearing about how like just to level set, I am a Claude Code super fan. I love Claude Code. It's great. It's changed my life, that whole thing. But I keep hearing about how good Codex is, or GPT
Yeah.
5.4 Pro.
Hmm.
And yeah, I've used Codex. I don't like it as much.
Hmm.
And it feels like if I'm going to jump into something else, like I don't like having to run both of them because my tools aren't in both of them, right? Um,
Mm.
I've got like all of these plugins and skills and agents and all of that for Claude Code. When I go over to Codex, it feels very blank because it's just the vanilla Codex. I haven't customized it at all.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
And so like Pi is like, oh, you can use Claude Code. You can use Claude Opus. You can use GPT 5.4. You can use whatever you want. Bring your own model. And so then it's like a harness that you can build around, and you can like establish your own identity and your own plugins and your own extensions and agents and all of that. But it'll support anything. So you can kind of switch it between them all. And it takes you like out of that vendor lock-in, because Claude Code is
Yeah.
great, but it is always going to be an Anthropic thing, not
Yeah. Yeah.
an open thing.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like a hedge against getting locked into something. And
Yeah.
honestly, I feel this a lot. I watched a stream the other day, and I don't remember. It was like talking about like using Claude Code, and whoever was talking was like just such like stan for Claude Code. Like, and it just felt like such simp behavior to me, and I was like
Yeah.
so not into it. And I think that maybe this is more. Like this is more the pitch is that like I think there's a handful of people who like got into computers because it felt like the most free thing that you could do, like free in the Stallman-esque like vision of free, like you were actually like philosophically free. um and so this feels kind of like similar, right, where it's like you're building your own agent, you're going to build skills in like a, I don't know, like you have control over like how much you depend on a various thing. Like sure, you may depend on like a model for behaving a certain way, but you're not depending on like a whole ass application and like the decisions that they're making for how to effectively draw you into the cult of like Anthropic or Codex or whatever. You're just kind of using it as a utility.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Okay. Um I want to see what you're doing with it. Can we jump into your thing? You've been on it for
Yeah.
like a week, maybe?
A little less probably, but yeah,
Okay.
a week
Few days.
ish.
Few
Yep.
days. Still a lifetime in in AI knowledge land.
Yes, for sure.
Now, I think that one of the things that makes this interest, one of the things that I'm most interested in this is that you are a like terminal super user. Um, I have been cosplaying as for a while as a terminal super user, but like, I'm like pretty average. Um, but I know that like on the web page they talk about like just use Tmux, like they say it like 10 times on the web page. And so it feels like this is kind of tailor made for you as someone who uses Tmux all the time.
For sure. Oh yeah. I hadn't seen that. So I had to go search. No background batch, just use Tmux.
Just
Yeah,
use Tmux.
love that. Yeah, I love this. It's just at pi.dev if you want to go look at it. Or as I found out, which really got me going, is if you just go to shittycodingagent.ai, that's it too.
Oh yes.
I absolutely love that. Um, but it's really good. The only downside, honestly, is like I don't know. I just feel like an apprehension of installing things from npm, just because I use like FNM
Yeah.
as my node manager, and
Okay.
I never know what version of node I have, and at any given point. Like
Yeah.
right now, I'm on 25. I usually don't stay on odd number ones, but here we are.
That was actually maybe my oddest experience like setting it up is that it has like a hard dependency on Node. And
Mhm.
I ended up just like aliasing. This is so dumb. Don't be like me. Aliasing node to bun, which is probably the dumbest way to solve that problem. To get around.
Oh my gosh. I can't imagine that that's gonna cause problems.
This is why every 6 months I like ask one of our IT guys to just like nuke my machine so I can start over. All right,
Amazing.
back to
Yeah.
back to it. Do you mind zooming in just a little bit? Sorry.
Sure. That good?
Yeah, that's
Better?
good.
Okay. So yeah, the cool thing is that it's, to start it, first off, it feels a lot snappier than Claude. Like just for comparison, here's Pi. And I think my computer's chugging a little, but it was relatively fast. And here's
Uploading
Claude.
2 4K streams.
Yeah. Here's Claude. And it got in pretty quick, but when I quit Claude, it literally takes like 5 seconds. It's
It
like,
does take a minute to do.
yeah. Pi is very fast though, so it just kind of goes, which is really nice.
Nice.
Right now I'm on, so like the first thing, like the most obvious thing is you can just say model, like you can in Claude, but I have a lot more than Claude in here. So I have GPT 5.4 Pro, and I've got all these Claudes in here, and I've even got like Kimi through base 10.
Nice.
So I can just like use whatever I want. But I'll switch back over to Opus for this. Opus 4.6. Boom. And when I switched over, my little status line, if you're familiar with Claude, this is the exact same status line that I have almost in Claude Code. And it even has like my 5-hour window and my 7-day window for
Oh, cool.
for my Claude subscription. And that's because you can just do login. And at least right now on March 23rd, you can log in with your Anthropic account or your ChatGPT account. I'm logged into both of these. I don't
Big asterisk right there.
yeah. I'm just counting the days until they're like, no, we can't let you do that anymore because they like to control everything.
I mean, this would take you off of Pi, presumably, right? I mean, just given how comfortable you are with Opus 4.6 and the tools inside of Cloud Code.
Yeah, it would, and unless I can convince our IT department to let me go back to token-based billing for Claude or for Anthropic, because then I could continue this and continue to use Opus, which I think is like honestly really great.
Yeah.
It's got its problems for sure, but I really like Opus at the end of the day. Opus 4.6 with the 1 million token context window.
Yeah.
And so if they let me, I would probably stay. Otherwise, like, yeah, that might be a pretty quick driver back to Claude. But it's really cool. Like once you're in, you got it, and then you can just tell it to do things. And so, I don't know, the ping, Pong, nice. So it's got like all of these things, and it's very bare bones. All of this is customized right now, and I'll kind of show you that. If I open up a split here, we'll just open up some Vim, and everything is in your home directory and a .py directory. I have this all symlinked out from my .files. But then in here, like you have an agent and then settings.json, and this controls like everything for it. So like right now I've got my provider set to Mocha, to Anthropic. I'm using Capuchin Mocha as my theme for it, which is a theme that I just have like in here. Oops, in here it's a JSON file.
Okay.
Just kind of been playing with those, and I literally just asked Pi to make those for me. And then you can tell it, like, this is one really cool thing. If you're like on the fence and you just wanted to give it a try, you can list out where it should look for skills. So by default, it'll look in its own skills area. But also I'm like, oh, I want you to have all of the skills that Claude has. So load Claude's skills directory. And then like I have some plugins and stuff. Load all of these as well. And so these are just
that is
like,
nice. Because I end up keeping all of my skills in my like directly in my user directory, and then I just kind of it's a repo, and I just push that up somewhere. But I did learn recently that there's like I don't know, every app has its own spot, but then supposedly there's like a global-ish spot in like .agents/skills that like most apps actually like look for these days, kind of like .config, etc. But it is nice that you have full control over. You just be like, hey, look in these skills directories as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. And you like they're just immediately available. So like my blog post writer, there it is. It's right there, and I can
So
just use it.
nice.
Yeah. And then you can also have plugins. So like you can ship your own things as a plugin, and then just load them in here. And so I'm saying like from npm get Pi subagents. From here get ask user questions. I like migrated my ideation skill to be a Pi plugin. And so
Mhm.
you can install that as well. It's got some problems though. I'm like working on a fix. And it's mostly because like ask user question and subagents aren't like native things in Pi
Mm.
in Pi. So like I have to account for that a little bit more.
Yeah,
Um,
I
yeah.
want to talk about those two things. One, like why, so why wrap up a skill as a Pi plugin? Like, what's
hmm
the advantage that you get there? And then I guess the second one would just be uh, the subagent thing. So we can tackle that a little bit later. But like the first one is just like, why wrap up a skill in a Pi plugin if skill is kind of like universal at this point?
Yeah. Great question. It's because this is actually a couple of skills. This is the
Oh,
yeah the actual package. And so like you've got your skill, which is just a markdown file, a skill.md. But this skill is a little bit more advanced in that, yeah, it has like examples and references, which it can easily load, but it's also got a few agents, and the agents are like sub agents. And so like I wanted to try and keep parity with the Claude version of this. I
got
might
it.
kind of tweak it a little bit, but effectively I wanted these to run in their own context and be able to do things like in parallel. And so that's why
Mm.
they're set up in that way.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So when you make a Pi plugin, you're kind of packaging up a handful of like skills dedicated to like a certain task so that you can like run them concurrently, which kind of brings us to not having subagents
hmm
inside of Pi. Um, so what does that part look like if you can't, if you're just supposed to use tmux instead of, having subagents?
Yeah. Well, you can do it by just adding in a plugin that supports it. And I think I might be wrong, or they might have just recently had it. Like, do you? Oh, here. Do you natively support subagents? Classic. Yes, I have access to the subagent tool. Oh, see, I might be wrong, or I might be outdated by like a day. Um,
Interesting.
or it might be totally lying to me. But honestly, like one of the best things about Pi is how good it is at understanding itself. And so you can ask it like, "Hey, I want this," and like that's how people like Mario, the guy who created Pi, like suggests like doing things. So, for example, a couple of weeks ago, Claude came out with this really cool thing where you can do slash BTW and have
Hmm.
like a quick side question that doesn't affect like the running.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And I like the answer in Pi was just like, "Hey, make that for me. This is how it should work." And Pi just makes it, and it works. And like that's in my extensions directory now, BTW.
Interesting.
And this was all just 100% created by Pi itself. You're a helpful side channel
Yeah.
assistant.
Yeah, I was noticing that. I was kind of recording a little something today, and just in preparation for this, kind of like trying to understand what like what Pi was, what it like, where it fits in.
hmm
And kind of I was delighted when I was like, "Hey, what can you do?" And it basically just like pulled the readme and then kind of like told me some of the things from that. I like the RTFM energy that it seems to come with.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I think, are all those extensions, now I know that there's like a gazillion extensions that it comes with, are those packaged in to the project, or are those like a separate thing in
These
terms
are
of the extensions?
these are all mine.
Okay.
And they're ones that I either had Pi generate itself or I completely ripped off of somebody else, for the most part. And I'll show you how I do that too, because I actually think that that's a good cheat code for things like this.
Yeah,
Um,
like steal extension.
Yeah. Well, here, I'll just show you right now, I guess.
Yeah, go for it.
The coolest thing is if you go to cs.github.com, codesearch.github.com. And remember, I told you that it lives at, I think it's .py/agent, like that.
Okay.
Just search for path pi agent.
Okay.
And you're going to see the top ones like mine. But like you'll see what people are putting in there. And so this is a great way to just like go through. It's very large for me. Go through and be like, oh, what are people doing? No, here's like a UX prompt. Here's, whatever HK is.
Interesting.
And like, I'll just like go through and start like opening these up in another tab and just seeing like, oh, what does this do? And then like, while I'm in here, I might as well look and see what else they're doing for Pi. But like, I know that this is a repo where they're putting Pi stuff, and now I can scour it and find cool stuff.
Yeah.
And either steal it or modify it or prompt Pi to create something similar. But
it has strong, like, .config dash dot or like dot files energy.
Oh, for sure.
Interesting. So are people putting up their Pi directories like wholesale?
I am, and it looks like this
Okay.
person is.
Interesting.
Dot files are weird because you never know like how they're going to do it. Like mine was home/.py, and
Sure.
other people might have it in different ways. So that's why I like try and look for that, like some general like snippet of the path, and then just like look within there, and you can kind of get an idea at least of what they're doing, how they're doing it.
Interesting. Well, that's a good tip.
Yeah. This one I totally stole from Mark, I think. But I added a bunch to it because I have this in Claude Code as well, where you can like customize the verbs that are showing up.
Yeah.
And so mine are like super Lord of the Rings coded, and other ones like The Office, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, I love it.
Clowning. Nice.
Counting the fallen at Helm's Deep. And this is the perfect example of like what a Pi extension is too, because it's so easy. Like I have a function that gets a random verb from that list, and then it exports a default function that just like listens for when you start, like when it starts thinking. We want to set the working message to whatever that was.
Oh, wow.
And then on the end, we just delete that or set it to an empty value.
That's wild. That is incredibly simple.
Yeah. It's fun too. It's all TypeScript, all super easy. That's another like easy thing. Like mention that this is like the NeoVim of X, and then it being all TypeScript, and chances are I'm going to try it.
That is true. I have been feeling like just everything is Python right now, and it makes me sad. Not that Python's bad. I just don't care for it.
Yeah, same. I don't know. I just feel more at home in here.
Yeah.
I was going to search. There was another great example of this. I probably won't find the tweet right away, but there was a tweet from someone at Anthropic talking about like dynamic skills. And it's basically that you can put in like a bang in front of like a code block. And
was that Lydia Halley?
Yeah. Yes. Maybe if I
think I saw that around
there. Yes. I follow, like, Twitter is basically like, I just follow everybody at Anthropic right now. And that's like what I do. This right here. So if you put like a bang in front of something, it will just like replace that in the skill run with whatever. Okay. And so like, it'll put the diff here, and it'll put the comments, and it'll put the change files, rather than like telling it how to do that. So it's like a way to tell it like, you're going to be dynamic, and these are things that you're going to do. That's awesome. And as soon as I saw that, that was like the day that I was like, I'm going to switch to Pi. And I'm like, dang it. Now Anthropic is like winning me back over with their, they know how to get to me. And so I just Yeah, I just asked Pi, hey, can we do this? And it was like, oh yeah, this is what I would do. Like I can't do that directly, but basically like we can get in the middle of it and uh, like modify the text buffer before we send it off to like actually be used.
Interesting.
And so that's what it does. And it effectively does the exact same thing. This is all code that Pi wrote, by the way. And so yeah, it works. And that's pretty cool. So like every time Anthropic has like a new thing that comes out, I'm like, oh, Pi, can we go do this? And usually the answer is yes, unless it's like a very Pi or Claude specific thing, which they've been doing a lot lately.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It does feel okay. I'm gonna jump back to faces.
All right.
Um, so something that's fun about this is that like it's really fun to be able to see how the thing works, right?
Mhm.
Which you don't get with other like kind of like fully baked versioned tools that are coming from these like frontier models. So it does seem kind of fun to be like, oh hey, like I kind of understand how this underlying system works and how I would manipulate it to get another result, down the road. And it kind of like opens up your creativity to how you could create this system, for yourself. So that seems fun. But two, I mean, kind of that thing that we were talking about earlier, and kind of having an experience that feels free. Um, it feels like it rewards that sense of like curiosity as well, which I think that you really appreciate, kind of like how not so much even just getting something, but like gaining a skill, like a human skill, not like a markdown file,
Mhm.
gaining a human skill that you can then take with you kind of on your journey. Curious how you kind of ride that balance, because I mean you do like Anthropic has like a whole team of people just making that experience better every day. They're always announcing cool stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah, like how are you feeling about that tension?
It's really tough to stay on top of it all. And like honestly, today I've been feeling it a lot because I'm just like, there's new things in Claude, and I'm like, well, I got to stay on top of that. So I've just been like divvying the tasks between Pi and Claude today, and like keeping
Okay,
on
yeah.
top. And honestly, like multitasking now is like table stakes, right? Like you're just like doing stuff constantly while Claude's
Just
running
you
over
saying
here.
that just gave me a mini panic attack right now.
I'm so sorry. But yeah, like I have to stay on top of that because like Claude is state of the art right now. Like it is
Yeah,
so good. And like there's no real reason that I'm like I have to get off of Claude except for
sure.
like feeling the vendor lock in. And like there
Mm,
is legitimate worry, when they eventually go public, they're going to be like, "Oh, we have to increase whatever for shareholders." And then it's like that's where the enshittification starts, right? And so
yeah.
that will be like the big off ramp, and I'm going to be ready to go, I think, with Pi in that case, or I might just be running Pi the whole time. But like, I want to have multiple avenues for that, and kind of like
Yeah.
understand the the Pi limitations and the Claude limitations, like and like where like the things that I can do, I can't do in one versus the other, and yeah, I don't know. It is a lot though to just stay on top of the whole time.
Yeah, it is. Because I mean, at the end of the day, it's like you're learning all of this stuff to produce work.
Yes.
I mean, like there's
Wait, I
part of it
am?
that's fun too, right? I know. Always. I think it's such a funny, like I mean, they do this with like gamer memes all the time. Like people like, they're gaming on stream and then they like put it away and then they just pick up a Steam Deck and play just a different game.
Yeah.
I feel that all the time, right? Where it's like, you work all day doing your work and like maybe have augmented your skills with agents through that. But then you're like, okay, cool, I'm done. Now I just get to like tinker and like just dick around with with whatever the coolest harness is right now.
Yes.
Ah, it's horrible. It's horrible. Our livers are being eaten.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. It is like a game that I'm constantly playing, right? And I think that the fun for me right now is in that like I've got my tried and true ways of working that do
Yeah.
work really well. And for the most
Mhm.
part, it's much less babysitting. It's like get it started and then it's going to go off and I don't have to babysit and I'll go do something
Yeah.
else. And so like today, for example, I had four things going at once and they were
Mhm.
all like basically in the I don't need to babysit them mode until they're done.
Yeah.
And then I just went off and started tinkering with Pi. And like, so that was like, I had like a good hour where everything was just running. Like they were all
Nice.
well-defined enough tasks that they were just running. And I hit my like 5 hour window limit with like 3 hours left to go. And that was great. But
Nice.
it was just, yeah, it just felt like vibing and fun. And I was focused on like improving the overall thing by like messing with
Yeah.
Pi. And that was awesome. And I was still getting work done. And like, it's actually pretty good work for all of them. Like a lot, I had to do some tweaking or some back and forth on them once I got done, but it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
And that's
So it
like,
seems like, oh, sorry.
that's the beauty of it, right? You can just like set
Yeah.
it off. And it kind of like, this will tie back into something that we talked about last time, I think. But I'll let you go first.
Oh, yeah. What is that? Just so we don't miss it.
Case. We talked about Case a
Oh,
little
yeah,
while
yeah,
back.
Case.
I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I completely rewrote Case to work on top of Pi.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of like this is kind of an interesting piece of it. And like most of my like thoughts right now are just trying to suss out like the advantages and disadvantages. I think that as we, like you said, like have to get more multitask oriented, I do find myself switching between models a lot, and switching between like harnesses a lot, because I know that different things are good at driving different activities, and there's a part of me that feels like, well, there's probably a line here too, right? Where this is the most customizable thing and you can use it to build up these like very custom workflows that are bespoke to you that might not be as model dependent. And maybe
Mhm.
it's advantageous to think about them as like model independent so that you know, can get them to deliver as good a result across models consistently. Um, so like there's that piece of it, but then like probably like that line too of like, well, what then are the killer features that really make a Claude or a Codex worth it for like various tasks?
Mhm.
um and it sounds like you're kind of like in that place with Case, so let's just like take it in that direction. Like where are you feeling those like boundaries, and why is it a good tool for something like Case?
Yeah. Great question. I think the main thing is that uh, it goes back to like the models, right? Like
Mhm.
I've heard, and I tend to agree that GPT 5.4 does a way better job at like code reviews and to a certain extent doing like the planning phase of it.
Yeah.
Claude's great at executing. So I always like use Claude to execute,
Mhm.
but I want to like have that. And so what I've been doing lately is like, as I was building Case and kind of playing around, is I would just have like a Tmux split with Claude on one side and Codex on the other. And I
Okay.
would literally just be like copying and pasting messages between it. It's like, I'll be like, hey, Codex, Claude just said this. And Codex would be like, yeah, but they're missing this. And then I would like paste that back and be like, well, Codex said this to Claude. And Claude's like, oh, yeah, they're right. We got to account for that.
Against
Yeah.
each other.
And I'm just the middleman in that. And I really don't like that. And like, I gave a talk last year where I was talking about like the dimensions of AI adoption.
Okay.
And it's always like for me, and like the thing that it always came down to is every time I figure out a way to not have to copy and paste, that's like a new dimension, like a new leveling
Okay,
up
sure.
for Claude. So like
Yeah.
the intersection of reality for AI is like where copy meets paste, and anywhere that I can like eliminate that. And so like I was just like, you know what? Pi would be great for this because like I can have one agent that is using Claude and one agent that's using Codex, and they just like flip between them and using like subagents or whatever, and one subagent is in one model and the other is in the other, and then
Mhm.
do like some communication between them and some glue like that.
That's really interesting. Like the idea of because it's been really popular the last like couple weeks, um, developing personas and kind of
Yeah.
like creating a team. Was it G Suite or whatever that's been like catching a lot of like shade. Um, but basically these defined personas of that that do interact with each other in the same way that like an organization kind of interacts, where you have like people who think this way and people who think a different way and people who, you know, are evaluated on a certain set of skills that's different than these other people. And like you get, you know, just like music, sometimes you get these results that are greater than the sum of their parts. And like that's a really cool thing. And so the persona thing makes a lot of sense to me, but it's really interesting when you like doing what you're talking about, where you're actually modeling personas with the agent that best like handles that persona.
Yeah. I've also heard like never let the code, the model that wrote the code review the code, because it's just like, you know, you can tell it that it's the reviewer now and it's doing that, but it's literally just like the same person with a mustache, like a fake mustache on.
It's so true. I do feel like I do enjoy like kind of like going back and forth between models, because you know, you do like they both just gas you up on their own solutions,
Yes.
right? And they're kind of vicious to things that they didn't write. And I love that.
Now I'm like picturing Pi as like the two kids in a trench coat from BoJack Horseman. Like I've got Claude and GPT in there.
Okay, little side quest. Was kids in a trench coat, was that a thing before BoJack Horseman?
Yes.
And like they just played it up?
Yes. I said
Okay.
BoJack Horseman just to relate to the youths, but yeah,
Okay.
I've been around long enough that I've heard of that before.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because I saw a short the other day and someone was talking about like, you know, like all of these things have a starting point, you know, like, you know, pirates didn't like elongate their R's like categorically. There was a movie that came out that did that to like define the character, and now everybody does that. And so I was just kind of curious, like, was that something that happened in our lifetime? That'd be crazy.
The craziest one for me, this is a real tangent now, is like the origin of Santa Claus. It's literally just Coca-Cola.
No.
Yeah.
Of course it is. Of course it is. I hate knowing that.
I feel like I just ruined Santa for you again.
Yeah. 30 years later, here we go again. Crying myself asleep tonight. That's so funny. Okay, I want to ask you about evals, because I was having this moment. You actually, why don't we pull up your screen, because you wrote a post the other day about kind of like getting out of your own way.
Yeah. Which one was that? The writing my first evals?
No, I think
Was it the case one?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I don't know. There was this talk from a while ago called by Fat, and he was saying something to the extent that the tests are the library.
Yeah.
That like the enduring thing about any library are the tests. And we've actually seen some interesting stuff with that recently, where open source creators have been removing their tests from their open source libraries because of, you know, slop forks or whatever. And it really does feel like the competitive advantage now is being able to write effective evals. And I wanted to get your thoughts on that as someone who's exploring this and doing a lot with evals.
Yeah, I constantly feel like I'm ahead of the game and totally behind the game on evals. Because I feel like they're so nebulous, and like
Yes.
It can be difficult to know, like, you know, for someone like me who does not have, I have a computer science degree, but I do not have like a applied AI or ML like masters or anything like that. And so I'm like constantly like pretending like I know what I'm doing in AI, which is totally fine. But it's something that I think is important to understand, like at least from a high level, how it's working. But they are effectively just like a way to say like thumbs up or thumbs down, we're going in the right direction. And the
Mm.
perfect example of this actually is going back to Claude, is like Claude has an eval like built in for their skills. And so like we actually ship a skills repo with for WorkOS, and it's got a number of skills in there. Where is it? Source? No. Plugins. WorkOS. Skills. It's got like a giant skill in here. Well, it's not too giant, but it's got references to a whole bunch of different areas depending on what you want to do. So like if you want to work on installing Next.js, it'll
Mhm.
load in this file and go and do that. And so like one way, I'll bring up Claude to do this. Use the eval, the skills eval skill to evaluate the WorkOS skill in this project. And it will go and do that. And I think last time I ran this, it actually like pulled up like a web UI and showed me like the difference between them and how well it's doing. But effectively, like it's creating some scenario and it's going to create a whole bunch of subagents and then ask it the same question over and over in all of them. And it'll do like half of them with the skill and half of them without the skill. And then it evaluates its performance to see if the skill improved it or made it worse. And I was finding like immediately that some of these skills that I thought I was doing pretty good on were actually making the LLM dumber because it already
Really?
knew. Yeah. Like specifically around SSO, it was just like it knows SSO really well. And my skill
Wow.
was just clouding it up and making it worse. And so
Interesting.
I had to pare that way down to just be like, you already know SSO. Here's the like very specific stuff about WorkOS SSO. And that was it.
Wow. So so you're not just evaluating that it's doing what you want it to do, but you're evaluating the quality against if there was no skill at all.
Yes.
Fascinating.
And this is like a whole thing that is like I've at least I'm saying it's a whole thing because my YouTube algorithm is now like giving me a bunch of videos on it. So of course
Yeah.
I assume, but it's this repo right here from Carpathy about auto research, and it's like
Okay.
the gist of it is like he's using the LLM like in looping over and over to like have it recursively like improve itself to or improve the research that it's doing. And so like I
Yeah.
watched a video on this today where they were like doing this effectively, but it was like every eval was just like a series of 4 questions, and the questions were like yes or no, and that way it was really easy for it to know, did it make it better, did it make it worse, and like it can just ask those questions over and over, and he can run it like 100 times and see, and every time it's like, well, no, why did you answer no there? Okay, let's add that, let's like change the research based on that, and then run it again and see if it improved, and just do that over and over and over until it like perfects itself completely. And I think that that's a huge thing. And this is something that I actually adopted for Case too, where Case like has this whole retrospective that it does where it improves itself based on like the tool calls that it's doing and everything to understand, was I doing a lot of things inefficiently? Could I have done something better? Could I have skipped this and just like understood something if I just like knew where to look? And so then it like makes notes. Oh, I should just look in this directory first. And then it doesn't have to run like all these searching tool calls and all of that.
Interesting.
And so,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, no, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask like kind of 2 questions. Like anytime I hear recursive, like I want to know like what is the like escape case or like the null case for this that actually gets it to like stop. Um so like for Case, how do you determine like it's stoppable now? Like you can stop looping.
Yeah. For Case, it only does one check and then it
Okay.
adds it, but it does like a check in there to see like, hey, do I already know this? Do I have something that contradicts this? How can I improve upon that? And it only does like one, but for something like this, like I said, you might run it like a loop of 10 or a loop of 100, like whatever, and just have it go over and over. And so like the stop is just,
Got it.
oh, I ran it 10 times.
Got it. So
and
it's
you
like
can
a
have it
fixed number of attempts, and you'd be like, "Hey, was attempt 2 like better than attempt 4?
Yeah.
What's the difference of those?" And then kind of like correct from there.
Yeah. And
Okay.
you can also like if it gets stuck in a loop like that where it's recursively doing something over and over, that's referred to as like a doom loop.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do some things to like check for that. And in this one, like in case itself, it like tries to understand if it's caught in a doom loop as it's running.
Mm-hmm.
And so every time it makes a tool call, it increments a counter that it's holding on to.
Yeah.
And if it makes 3 identical tool calls in a row, without anything else in between it, it considers itself any other tool calls in between it. It considers that a doom loop. And so it like stops it and tries to interrogate why it's in there and what it's doing. And of course there can be some false positives in that, but it's trying to like keep it together, keep it from having like basically like, you know, doing the insanity thing where it's running the same thing over and over, expecting different results.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because I've been trying to think about how to do this with video, and I'm definitely stuck in like a low level of this where I'm running the process, opening up the video, evaluating how it did, and then kind of like reporting back. Or opening up the video timeline. And I don't know, I'm trying to get myself out of that. Like I need to, like the killer skill is leveling up to the point where I can teach it how to evaluate the work that it did, instead of just me being that piece, that interface for it constantly.
Yeah.
It is kind of tricky though with certain things. Like video is such a weird one.
Yeah. There are, so that goes back to that that feedback loopable. I think we talked about this from AMP. Like yeah, we talked about this with this animation, like finding a way to let the LLM know what it's doing right and wrong, and then being able to feed that back into itself as it goes through an iteration. And I'll have to find the video, but I literally watched a video today that was about generating diagrams, and it was using Nano Banana 2 to generate these. And, you know, it had a whole bunch of criteria, like lines need to, you know, text can't overlap. Text has to be clearly readable at all times. Lines need to be, you know, this width and all of that. And he was talking about like exactly this process where he's using this like paradigm from auto research to like recursively loop over itself to improve. And that was for something visual, like these diagrams, right? So I feel like there's a parallel to what you would be trying to do with video. So I'll find that video and send it to you.
Okay. Yeah. I'd love to see that, because I think that's the next step that I want to try and like connect to, is like get to the point where it's able to interpret it as close to how I interpret it as possible.
Yeah.
And then kind of use principles to like kind of improve it every time. So I'm curious now that you have like this setup and it's able to like eval itself, do you have a process for then committing those changes that it identified, or like shortcomings that it identified, or is that still kind of a manual part of it? Like, do you still want to have control over that?
I have it feeding it back into itself so that it will just do those, and then I can like, you know, bring up my a get diff tool and like look at the changes that it made. But right now, like I'm trying everything I can to eliminate myself from this copy and paste rigmarole.
Yeah. Man, that's a lot. It's a lot. All right. I'm feeling good about this. I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
Curious, is there anything else you want to cover while we're hanging out?
Real quick, I just wanted to show the new and improved case.
Get it.
That's Pi based. And so like you know, if we go to like the like main use case that I kind of built around for it is we have like issues that come in, right, on our open source repos. And so like I want to be able to quickly like,
I thought code was done. I thought code was solved.
I feel busier than ever. It's weird, right? So like an issue like this, right? This is actually a pretty decent one in that it has like proposed solutions and it clearly defines the problem and all of that. That's a good one. But let's say, I don't know, I didn't come prepared with like something. This also has some pretty good code in it.
Dude, are we getting good issues now?
Yeah, we are. Oh,
Dang.
to reproduce. See, these are great.
Wow.
I just got to get on fixing them. Yeah, this one, for example. I mean, this is a pretty simple problem, right? But like, it's a one line, one sentence thing. And let's pretend that this was not enough information for
Okay.
me to just like, say case 169. I also realized, because I'm very dumb, that I can't call this CLI case because case is a reserved bash word. So I have it as CA for case agent.
Okay, nice.
And it's a full like CLI now, so really easy. It's actually written using Bun. Bun is actually kind of cool. I like it.
Dude, Bun's goated. That's why alias known to Bun.
Yeah, it's really good. And so like I can just be like, I'm in AuthKit Next.js and that issue was 169. And so I can just do like CA and it's going to immediately like kick off a task.
Oh shoot. I think we lost, or like I'm not seeing it. Hold on, let me switch views and see if we can get you back. Dang it. Okay, back? I think we're good. I'm seeing it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I can do like CA and then the issue and it will like start detecting it and it like starts setting up like tasks for itself and like starts defining its own like markdown file to describe the problem and all of that. But like in this case, let's say that 169 does not provide enough information. And so what I can do is I can do -- agent. First, let me just run that without an issue number. And case will it'll just spin up into agent mode and it will tell you what it can do. And it even has like a cool little like case robot guy. Oh, there's an update to Pi. But it says like, hey, I'm here to help you with AuthKit Next.js. And it knows specifically that it can find an issue, it can build a feature, it can explore and understand, and it can run some checks. And so like I'll quit it again and I'll just say -- agent and then 169. And now it should do the same thing, but it's going to load in knowing about that issue specifically. Sick. And it's going to like tell me exactly what it found. But the goal here is that it's not just going to immediately go off and do the work and try and fix it. It's going to load in everything that it needs to know right off the bat. And then it's going to come to me, like wait at the prompt for me to provide additional context. So instead of like you go off and do this alone, I'm the human in the loop that can give you more information about it, and we can have a conversation. We can develop a plan together, and then it'll kick off into its like state machine of fixing the issue and submitting a diff and all of that. And so it's a way for me to be in the loop and for me to provide like the extra context when whatever I'm trying to feed into case doesn't have enough on its own. So it's like this is like the ultimate dynamic way of understanding, of like giving case the understanding that it needs to get the job done on its own.
Yeah, that's wild. I love it.
And all built on Pi.
It's interesting. So, okay, so you got Pi. What are the things that, like, are there specific things that made this possible in Pi that would have made it difficult or different using Claude Code?
Yeah. So with Case originally was just a skill with subagents in Claude Code. And then, but I was like, the whole orchestrator was just like, markdown file trying to do it. Case was originally 9,000 lines of markdown. Now it's, what is it? No, I'm not in that. But it's 10,000 lines of markdown and 6,000 lines of TypeScript now.
Interesting.
And
so you're handling the boundaries a little bit more like directly now.
Yes. Okay. I kind of evolved from to a TypeScript orchestrator so that I could like have full control. Because the biggest problem with the skill was like Claude just might ignore pieces of like steps in the process. And so I wanted to go to a TypeScript orchestrator where I could control like the state machine of how it moves between states. Yeah. And I was doing that, and then I kind of switched from like, the TypeScript was just going to call Claude-P
Hmm.
and like in single prompt mode, so it would just like go off and then report back, but there's no interaction, and that was like limiting a little bit. And so I tried using like the Claude. I thought about using the Claude Agent SDK, but
Yeah.
then I was like if I'm going to do this, I would really like to be multi-model so that I could
Yeah.
have I could have GPT-5 do the code reviews. And
Hmm.
so that's when I was like, Pi, perfect. Like this seems like the
Yeah.
perfect thing to do. And so I built on top of that. And honestly, it was like me describing it for 40 minutes and coming up with a contract using my ideation skill, and
Hmm.
then it going off for like an hour and a half or something. And then it
Nice.
was done. Like it just did it itself. And it was pretty great.
Yeah, I do feel that's interesting to hear you say that, because I do feel like owning the orchestration is something that I have wanted. And I kind of felt like, oh, well, maybe I'm not like AI pilled enough to like break out of the way that I think of things. But it's interesting to see you like kind of have gone that far and then come back to like own the orchestration again.
Hmm. And the beauty of this all is that like, doing these like crazy refactors from a skill to like a TypeScript orchestrator to Pi as the orchestrator, it
Hmm.
was like trivial to do it. Like
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I wasted a bunch of time. It was like I
Hmm.
learned a bunch from each iteration and applied that to the next iteration. But
Yeah.
this like case was grown to be exactly what I need, and it's not
Yeah.
done yet, of course. But it's growing to be exactly what I need rather than
Yeah.
being engineered to be what I need. If that distinction makes sense.
Totally, totally. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like so good at translating so that it kind of like makes the mistakes feel less expensive,
Yeah.
which is, or not mistakes, but like roads traveled. Like it's almost like you can like teleport directly back to the last fork of your project.
Yeah.
Um, Interesting. Now, I was kind of curious. There's a feature in Pi that I am interested in, but haven't utilized yet, which is that JSON output for piping. Are you using that for anything?
No, I didn't know that it had it. What's the
Yeah.
deal?
So apparently you can. It's under 4 modes. If you head over to the docs, there's like a print JSON mode where you can call Pi with a -p flag and write your query, and then it'll respond with JSON and pipe it into whatever you like. You can do whatever you want with it after that.
Ah, I'm trying it right now.
It was God pushing a boulder up a hill. Syphilis, right?
Yeah. You might want to get that checked. This is interesting because there's definitely, oh my gosh, I just have too many splits here. But there's definitely Claude-P that does the same thing, I think.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it does it in, that's it. And then Claude, I don't think it does it in the same way, but we can check. What did this come back with? It did not print in JSON, but
Oh, interesting.
it did print it.
Oh, sorry. There is an additional mode flag for JSON. My bad.
Oh, like dash dash
Yeah.
mode.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then lowercase JSON. Yeah, that works.
Oh, perfect. Look at that. Nice. So it looks like it's just printing out the JSON-L. Oh, interesting.
It looks like you get like this is a streaming response too, right?
Hmm. I think this is the
Versus
thinking.
oh, sick.
Yeah. The user is asking general knowledge question, not a coding question.
Dude, the way the agents talk about us sometimes it just cracks me up.
Yes. That's better. Claude used to refer to me as the human. I
Nice.
remember that.
Nice, nice.
Oh yeah. Claude has the same thing. I wonder if it has a JSON mode, but
Yeah. Awesome. Well, hey, this has been fun. Let's wrap it up. I know we got family to see. So yeah, any let's see. Any big takeaways from your weekend away? and kind of like the last week and all of this stuff.
Things are changing constantly. It's hard to keep up,
Yeah.
but there's fun in tinkering. So keep tinkering. Keep pushing that boulder.
Keep pushing that folder. I know. I feel kind of the same. I feel like there's another side of it too, where um I think personally I've been trying to run some human evals on my life as well, to kind of ask myself, like, am I doing the best job of doing the human part, right? Like,
Mm.
am I able to step away more because of this? And like, yeah, maybe I'm working harder when I'm sitting down, but like when I step away, like, can I really let it go? That has been that's been hard, but I've been working toward it.
Yeah. My wife is so sick of hearing about Claude.
Oh yeah,
It's so
same.
hard.
Yeah. It's like a mistress.
Yes.
Uh all right. Well, hey, thanks for hanging out with me, dude. This was great. I appreciate you spearheading all of this stuff and showing us the cool stuff.
Anytime.